Alright guys, so here is where it starts to get a little complicated. We have two polynomials that we're going to have to factor. Let's just separate this into A and B. Let's do A first, which is the most complicated types of factoring problems you probably see on your final. This is rather easy. So let's start with the hard one first. Look at that out of the way. 5x squared y minus 30x y squared. Okay, so let's start off with the greatest common factor. Greatest common factor. So what is the greatest common factor here? Well, they are all factors of 5. This would be 5, 5, but divide this by 5, it'll be 6. They all have an x. Do they all have a y? No, they all have an x here, but they have x1, x squared, x3. So the common factor here is 5x. So let's pull out that 5x. Right? So we're going to be left here with x squared plus, divide this by 5, xy minus, well, if I do divide by 5, it becomes 6 y squared. Okay, so now this gets a little complicated here because now you have an x and a y. Now we have to factor two variables, a trinomial with two variables. So how do I do this? Well, this is the same way as saying sum and a product. It's the same thing. Look at the variables as numbers, right? So this is the same thing as x squared plus x times a coefficient minus a number. This is your constant. So what, let's see, this is a sum. So your sum will have to equal to y, and my product will have to give me negative 6y squared. So what two numbers will give me y, and what two numbers multiplied by each other will give me a negative 6y squared? Well, you guys are thinking about numbers. What happens if I incorporate the y? So if I go 3y minus 2y will equal to 1y, so we have our sum. And if I do 3y times minus 2y, it's equal to negative 6y squared. You see, when they give you these these two variables, you have to look at this as the y's have to be a number. It's not a variable. You see how I look? You see how I wrote this down? So now that we have our our sum and our product, we get to write this down, right? So our sum and our product will be x plus 3y, and then we're gonna have to go x minus 2y times 5x. So this right here is your final answer. Now you guys see how these are my two factors, x plus 2y, x minus 2y, and don't forget that 5x. The hard part here, guys, is to understand that it's just like saying a number like, I don't know, x squared plus x minus 6. It's the same thing, but we're adding a y here. That's why you're supposed to add the y inside these brackets. Okay, so we're going to go to the next one, which is 8x squared, which is a rather easy one. We're going to write this down here. So this is b. 8x squared minus 14x plus 5. So this is the same thing as, okay, the coefficient in front of x squared is not 1. So we have to find our common factors of this one and of this one. What are the common factors of this one? We have 4 and 4. This could be 1 and 5. So if I cross multiply the diagonals, 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 1 is 4. Does the sum of these two equal minus 14? No. How about if I go 8 and 1, and I go 5 and 1, and I multiply the diagonals? This will give me 5. This will give me 8. Now, do these sums give me 14? They give me positive 14. Well, if I do minus 5 minus 8, that will give me a minus 14. So then you have to take this one here negative, and a negative then. And you take these, and your final answer would be 8x minus 5 times x minus 1. And that's how you get that nice 10 on 10 for both problems. Alright guys, and that's going to finalize our factoring chapter. I usually think that factoring is a little more tougher than just expansion and simplification, just because you just have to start thinking outside the box a little bit. But nonetheless, guys, the more practice you do and the more videos you look at, my videos especially, and how to solve these problems, you're going to pass these finals, all right? So I'll see you guys in the next chapter. See you there.